What up, peeps? It's your boy Heckin Steve. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about these two games right here. Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. So, we all know that these games go for $30, $40, and on Amazon, they go for $50 a piece. This was a pack-in game. That's why it comes in this little sleeve instead of a normal case. Now, they did release it later with a case. You could buy it separately. It was part of their Nintendo Selects, which was $19.99, 20 bucks. But yeah, over 100 million Wii consoles were sold easily. I don't remember the exact number, but it's definitely over 100 million. And the majority of those Wiis came with Wii Sports, which is just a little pack-in title. It's like Tetris for the Game Boy. There was millions of copies of Tetris that came with the Game Boys. But Tetris is only like a $10 game, right? So why is this one 30, 40, 50 bucks when Tetris is even 20 years older than that? And the real reason is because of resellers and influence, YouTube resellers. We all know that. That's not a new thing to discuss here. But this has boxing, which is the only sport that isn't on Switch Sports, because I'm going to be talking about Switch Sports a lot in this video too. Bowling, which is probably the main reason anybody would want this game, right? Let's be honest, most people just want to bowl. Then you got golf, which is also really fun. Tennis, and you have baseball. And that's it. Just 5 little sports games. But for some reason, this game is 50 bucks, 40 bucks, 30 bucks. You see it for that range. And what's the one thing that you always see in a reseller video? You know, when you watch these resellers, hopefully you don't watch them, but if you do, you'll see them buy a Wii for 5, 10, 15 bucks. And it'll either have a copy of this with it, or you'll see them get it for free, loose, inside the system when they get home and they press the eject button, right? So they're getting this game for basically nothing, free. And that's how it was originally sold, too. It was given with the Wii, so you got it for free. But somehow resellers have gate-kept the shit out of this game to the point where it is worth 30, 40, 50 bucks. And that's just absurd, because it is just 5 little sports minigames. And they always get it for basically free. And there were 100 million copies of this game made. And let's say, just for argument's sake, that half of those are destroyed. So in the entire world, there are still 50 million copies of this game in existence. Now, how many views on average do you see on a reseller video where they get this game for free? 50,000 views, 20,000 views, 100,000 views. So how are just a couple 100,000 people making this game so expensive to the point where it needs to be $50, $30 more than its MSRP when it was sold in stores? Not even that long ago, 16, 17 years ago. It's ridiculous. And then you go on Amazon, right? And you go look at this listing, and you'll see others, look at all the sellers. There are hundreds of people, 50 to 100 different sellers with several copies of this game. And it's because nobody wants to buy it for $50 fucking dollars. But they want you to. They want it to be more expensive. They want it to be more valuable, because that's the kind of game they're playing, right? Is they jack the price up on this fucking game. But this game should basically cost nothing, if I'm being honest with you. Now, the only game, as far as I can remember, Switch Sports I know has volleyball, it has soccer, there's bowling, there's Shambara, which is like sword fighting, which is, sword fighting, in my opinion, is the only reason to own Wii Sports Resorts. Everything else, like basketball's in Switch Sports. Now, Switch Sports, you can buy it for 30, 40, or 50 bucks, like the same amount of money that you would pay for one of these, except it works on a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2. So there are absolutely no reasons to go out and buy these games for 30, 40, 50 bucks when you could just get Switch Sports, because Switch Sports has bowling. And honestly, the bowling is better on Switch Sports, because not only are there more courses for you to do, like different obstacles and stuff, in addition to just regular bowling. But when you go to throw the ball, you actually hold the button down on the Joy-Con on the Switch. And they didn't do that in this one. In this one, you would let it go. And then sometimes people would let it go and break their fucking TV. But in Switch Sports, they changed it because they used their brains. They were like, you know what? If we make them hold on to a button, they probably won't break their fucking TV and get mad at Nintendo. Now, I will say the sword fighting in this game is much better than it is in Switch Sports because there's that showdown mode, which is kind of like an arcade sword fight, you know, like where you go up the mountain and stuff. And I need to stream that soon because I love it. That's the only reason I own this game is for that showdown sword fighting mode. Because I don't give a shit about wave racing, or not wave racing, but wave boarding. And I mean, I do like archery. Archery's pretty cool. I don't think that's in Switch Sports. But man, if Switch Sports would have sold better, maybe they would have added more sports to it. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with Switch Sports because the majority of people want Wii Sports for bowling, right? So just buy Switch Sports. It works on a HD TV natively. It's readily available in the stores or digitally. So you don't have to hunt it down and you don't have to make a reseller some fucking money by buying this game. Because, you know, you can only play it in HD on a Wii if you have a Wii U. So that's pretty much everything I needed to say about that. But yeah, I think that this game should not be $50, man. It shouldn't. And I don't know why people are still buying it. Especially when they watch YouTubers get it for free. They're like, oh man, wow, you got it for free. That's a great find. I'm going to go give them $50 for it. Why? Why would you do that? It's stupid. But ultimately, yeah. Some of the best parts of both of these games can be played on Switch Sports. So there's absolutely no reason to spend like basically $110 because I think this is $60 now, and this is $50. So to spend $110 if you're unlucky, I mean, because you can get these for a good deal from certain people or certain places. But yeah, to spend $110 on this versus just $50 for the Switch Sports game. I mean, when Switch Sports first came out, I bought that shit digitally. I was like, I want to buy it digitally so that I can never accidentally sell it or trade it in. And I'm grateful for that because I've been playing I've been playing Mario Golf as well. Because I just picked this up recently. It's pretty fun. But I've been playing the golf on Switch Sports, man, because it's great. And I think people sleep on the Switch Sports game. But man, if you get that nostalgia hit for the bowling, don't buy Wii Sports, man. Buy Switch Sports. That way, you're not supporting the continuing rise in price of this game. Because all of the available copies are going to end up in the hands of these resellers, and they're going to gatekeep it and try to keep it expensive like it is for as long as possible. I mean, they've been doing that with Pokemon games, too. Pokemon games were also made in the millions, and we know how much those go for. It's absurd. Anyways, guys, that was all I had to say today. I appreciate you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.